Hey guys, what's up? This is Shark talking. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing this returning banner with Award, Monika, Award Final Empress, and Stun Undine. This is how the community called them. Although the name is pretty long, I don't think it's easy to say the original names. And I do believe that this banner may be one of the best returning banners we got so far, because there's one character here that still proves to be worth for a long period of time. Even now in Japan, there's no real replacement, and it's Stun Undine. You can find another character that can do what she does, but, well, she's still the best on this, and that is Stun. We will need Stun here and there, and for strategies that rely on Stun, Undine is still the best. You can bring other characters that can help Undine to stun some targets, but she's still the queen of this. And not only that, she's also a good intelligence debuffer, among other things. Well, let's click here on summon details so we can discuss these characters, starting with Furure Empress. Furure Empress is another good investment because she was buffed for global. I believe that Moonlight is a great heal spell. Let's see the animation. This is a healing spell that also buffs morale by 25%. 25% will not translate in 25% increase in damage because your characters already have passives that increase damage. So it may translate to something like 15% increase in damage alongside a healing. Moonlight spell uses 5 or 4 BP on fully awakened. It's not that costly, it's pretty nice. The only thing that is bad is that Final Empress don't have too much agility. If she goes after the character that you are buffing, the effect will only last for 1 turn. But at least as a healing spell, it's already cool enough. Final Empress also has some attack abilities like Moon Slash. This should be the best one, because it has 8 power, already very good because of the original value. It's 8 or 6 BP on Awakened, and it has this defense boost stance. This means that she will get a guard up buff. It's a small effect, and small is only 12%. It's not that much, but it should help because she can be used in the front line, so reducing a little of your damage is pretty good, especially if you have other characters that can also increase with other spells. If you are using someone like Narwhal's daughter, it will overwrite because her effect is higher. But even if you just consider the damage, is Slash and Moon means that she can cover more damage. Sadly, the last skill is not that good, is Lunar Blade, and Lunar Blade is just AoE with Slash and Moon. It's pretty costly for just B power. I don't think this is good. In the future, she can have this Lunar Blade upgraded, but her future style will also have this. Okay, now we need to just check her passives, and well, the first one is Inherited Emotion. This is interesting because when she uses Moonlight, she will get an increase to her own STR. I believe it's 25%, let me check. Well, it is 20% increase, so every time that she uses Moonlight, she gets 20% increase to her own STR. This is an interesting passive, although it's kind of restricted, especially when you are facing bosses and you need to heal. And this may be helpful in some boss fights, yes. There's Breath of Life. You have a recovery chance of HP when you attack. That's 25% to recover. And then there's Fired Up 4 with 15% increase in damage. I don't believe that she's that good as a damage dealer. She doesn't have high increased STR for her modifiers, but she performs well. It's a healing with an effect. That is something that can also be inherited to her Platinum style that has a very powerful attack called V-Impact. You can also use V-Impact with this version of Final Empress if you want, especially if you want to get this one leveled up. But recently I have been using the Platinum Final Empress with Moonlight. It's working better for me, but if you need Slash plus Sun, you can just inherit Moon Flash, or just use any depending on the situation. The next one is Monika, and interesting enough, both were on the same banner last time. And this version of Monika is, well, a little restricted in my opinion. I kind of think that she's on part with the Christmas Monika, but this time she has a curse and a gift. I don't know. Linear Cross is an attack that has only C power. It's Pierce and Sun. Can be used 3 times in a row once you fully awaken. But it's not that high as a power. It's hard to take advantage of this since it hardly kills any target. Even if you have this maxed with where your maxed dexterity on your Monika, it will hardly ever kill a target. Cutting Long is also not that good, it's only D power. What you have with this Monika is the ability to use Firecracker, a very powerful attack that it's heat and Pierce. AoE attack, hit, and pierce can be used on the second turn, well, in the second wave if you are farming. It's hard to kind of manipulate agility, but Monika is not so bad on agility. So there was a global exclusive version of Monika recently. You can inherit Firecracker to the new version of Monika. I believe that even if you compare the both have the same dexterity, the Christmas, this one, and the new global exclusive Monika have the same dexterity. I believe that even then, the newest version of Monika will prove to be more useful in most situations, so Firecracker is the only good thing about this version of Monika, in my opinion. She deals more damage than the Christmas one because of passives, unless the Christmas one is attacking an enemy that's weak against her Soul Turn Cross attack. And for passives, we have Fighting Spirit to Dex. She has a chance to increase her Dex when she's attacking. Fired Up 3 is 10% increase in damage, and Weak Point Focus 3 is 15% increase in damage, up to 25 and when attacking and weaknesses of a target. You have Sun and Heat here, and if you are lacking a single target damage and you don't have global exclusive Monika, you can inherit an attack from her Platinum that's called Mega Thrust. It's not that bad of an attack, it will work in most situations. Well, this version of Monika. Firecracker may be a good idea for future versions of Monika, but so far, this is the last interesting character of this banner. Although Pierce is still a very hard element to get, I believe that Undine has more value. Let's check Undine here. She has 3 attacks that are pretty nice. We start with Bubble Pop. This is a very powerful attack that deals cold damage and has a high chance to inflict stun. Because stunning Undine has a very high agility, this means that she will be stunning most of the time, especially if you're using her on a formation that increases her intelligence. It's very hard for a boss without resistance to not be stunned, but if the boss has resistance to up to 125, you can still take advantage using Holy Stones or just keeping using this or increasing her intelligence. There are some ways to make this work, even against resistances. Not only Bubble Pop, she also has a very powerful attack called Water Hammer. This one I really like. It's B power. Okay, it's not A, but it's very close. And it can be reduced to 6 BP. It's cold and blunt, so a magical attacker dealing blunt damage will prove to be very useful. There was a lot of bosses where I had to use this, and debuffs intelligence. So if you are lacking a proper intelligence debuffer like Acelus or Onsen Genie, she will perform very well for this role. Not only that, she's also an emergency healer. We'll be talking about her healing role very soon. Well, Thunderclap is an AoE attack that deals B power. That's not that bad for 13. It's actually very good. She can stun all targets with low chance, and this is very good for, you know, the Hidden Dojo. I believe that for Hidden Dojo this is pretty fine. I don't know if it's so good for the Spiral Corridor or any other stuff, but for Hidden Dojo it's pretty nice. She can inflict stun if she's on a 50% increase intelligence slot. And you can also inherit her Water of Life spell for emergency healings. You will have Heal, AoE attack with lightning damage, that can be used on turn 1. You have Cold plus Blunt and also Intelligence debuff, and then Bubble Pop to be specialist for stun. I believe that Undine makes for a very useful character for a lot of different situations. If you can take advantage of stun, stun is not that good as Paralyze or Charm or, well, Confusion, but most bosses are immune to this stuff. Anyway, so stun is usually more easy to not be resistant than Confusion, than Charm, or Paralyze. So, well, this makes Undine a very good character because of that. So let's just check her style details and abilities. And for passives, she has the first one that increases her own intelligence, allowing her to have more chances of inflicting stun and also more chances to debuff intelligence. Fired Up 4 means 15% increase in damage, and Will Inhibitor is something that it's way better than it seems. Will Inhibitor will debuff the will of all targets by 5%, and sometimes 5% is enough to allow you to increase your chances of dealing insta-kill attacks, especially insta-kill attacks. Sometimes Confuse, sometimes Paralyze, but especially insta-kill attacks. If you have Death Albert, the one that was released on site Death UDX banner, he really needs this Undine to perform well. So with Undine, Nair, and a future version of Volcano that will be farmable, you have 3 sources of will debuff for farming, especially for insta-kill strategies. I believe that it's very good to have those 3 characters to increase your farming results when needed. And even for map farming, there are many strategies that relies on using them to get many maps. Skipping her is hard because of that, especially because Bubble Pop is so overpowered. We can get Bubble Pop to her future style, and that should usually be better than using this style, but because the future does not have Bubble Pop, it means that this Undine is one of the best resources in the game. And, well, now we'll be checking these characters on now. Well, I want to give some perspective into Final Empress. We have Moonlight with this award version, but this spell, Moonlight, can be also found on the future version of her. This is the New Year's version that will be very far from us. It has Moonlight, it will receive the same buff as Global. And if you want to get Moon Flash, you can also get this from the Summer style. She also has Moon Flash. The interesting thing is that we can inherit Moonlight into the Summer version for some emergency healers, but you can also inherit the first skill from the Summer version called the Watermelon Cut into our award style, so it becomes better because it will be dealing damage and healing and buffing on the same time, meaning that she performs well as a tanker that just slowly buffs herself. For Monika, we have this one being the award, and there is the Christmas one. We are lacking the global exclusive since this is the Japanese data. In the future, we'll be getting this one. That's the highest damage possible with Monika. It's a single target specialist. It has a triple S attack with medium chance to insta-kill. Another attack that has a power, small chance to insta-kill as well. And a dismembering attack that has double element. So it's a single target specialist. You can inherit Firecracker to use on a second or third wave, but only that she cannot attack after Firecracker without wasting one turn. And if you don't want to summon for award, Monika, you can just summon for the global exclusive when it's available again, because it has a cheaper AoE attack called Stingray that can even be used 3 times in a row with this one. I believe that global exclusive Monika will have more value than award Monika if you're thinking about the future. And last we have Undine. This is limited. This one is the award version. We call it Stun Undine, and this is the future version of Undine. And well, let's check this version. It has higher intelligence, lower agility, so in some situations you still prefer Stun Undine to be faster and to stun, but higher intelligence also means that she will be inflicting stun more often. That means that for long fights, you may prefer this version. It also has Water Hammer, there is a healing spell as well, a single target attack that's pretty powerful, but only lightning. But it lacks Bubble Pop, the attack that has high chance to stun. So what you do, you summon for Stun Undine to make this one better, or you can just keep using Stun Undine. You don't need to summon for this one. This one is a luxury. You will be using it just for an increased chance for stun, and also because the healing spell is better. So now back to the banner image. I believe that Stun Undine is worth if you don't have her, and well, even if you have to spend 18,000 gems. But if you get her very earlier on your summonings, stop, just stop. You can skip this Final Empress if you want, and Monika even easier to skip. But if you get her very close to the PD, you should PD Final Empress before Monika. Final Empress will offer more value for at least some time, while Monika is easily replaced by Global Exclusive and a future style of her. And well, only if you have at least 40,000 or 15,000 gems. Save some gems for a future banner. I believe that in this month we'll be receiving the Acelus banner that everyone is waiting, and that will offer a lot of value. And that's it, guys. I made this video because a lot of people were asking me about the value of this banner. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you want to support the channel, you have here the links on the description of the video. We see each other on the next one. Bye.